Hello. In this video, I'm going to go over why a tech career is a great career for people with ADHD. Now, as someone with ADHD, this is just coming from my own personal experience. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a career coach for people with ADHD or a counselor or have really any credentials in that arena. So your decisions are not my fault. I was really skeptical about creating this video, but then I was like, this could probably help one person that is probably going through a career crisis. So as someone with ADHD, you really have to have an interest in what you're doing. If you hate what you're doing, not only will you know, but so will everybody else around you know that you hate your job. The first reason is why I think tech is a great career for people with ADHD is that there's been a lot of research showing that they have divergent thinking, they can overcome knowledge constraints, and they have conceptual expansions. All of these three things are really good to have within the tech field. It's also extremely beneficial when you're troubleshooting systems and have sufficient knowledge because you may think of things that nobody has thought before. And you can overcome knowledge constraints. I actually find that I can just figure things out without actually learning it. The second reason why I think tech is a great career is that there are a ton of different opportunities within the tech industry. So there is cloud, cybersecurity, IT. Funny enough, I also have playlists all about those. There's also software development, data, analytics, artificial intelligence. And so it really satisfies your wanting to work in a million different industries. And in a lot of different jobs, you're going to be working with different customers. So you're going to have to continuously learn new technologies for that customer. You're not going to implement the same solution over and over and over. And because there are a lot of different opportunities in this field, you don't have to worry about becoming pigeonholed into a job that you absolutely despise, because whatever skill you just gained, you can easily leverage that to get a different job that may be completely different. You can also just change jobs every year or two and actually increase your salary during that time. I know in some fields, job hopping is not good, but in tech, it is great. The next reason why ADHD is great is that it gives you feedback instantly. It's always one novel thing after another, and if you break something, it's pretty instant that you broke something. And when you fix something, it's pretty apparent when you fix something, so you are rewarded. I remember I was listening to this speech by this ADHD expert, and he was saying he actually sees a higher level of people with ADHD within the trades because they get immediate feedback. The same thing is in a lot of jobs in tech. Not all of them, but you get that instant feedback. Another great thing is when you're trying to solve different problems, you can do research. And if you go down a rabbit hole or some random thing, it's fine, I guess you could say. Nobody really knows how long the problem should take to fix. Because you have that creative mind, you can think of how to solve a problem in many different ways. And so people are going to remember that you solved that problem, not so much how long it took you to solve the problem. I know there are some careers that are really time heavy, like you need to do this within 20 minutes. And while those do exist within the tech field, there are a lot of jobs that aren't like that. The third reason why tech is a great career for people with ADHD is there are a lot of remote jobs. While some people may have an issue working remote due to just a lack of structure maybe, I find it that there are way less distractions and I can just stay in my room and then just work. When I was at the office, more than once did I walk around to people's desks and just talk to them for hours. There are plenty of remote options, and to me this improves my productivity. I find the Pomodoro technique to be extremely beneficial because you can just put in that timer. You know exactly how much time you have actually been working, because a symptom of ADHD is just a complete non-awareness of time. And so 5 minutes past could feel to you like 3 hours. And so looking at that timer helps me stay focused. The next reason why I think a tech career is great for people with ADHD is that your skills can carry into a lot of different jobs. So I'm sure you don't really like doing the same thing and you get bored extremely easily and your mind likes to jump from one thing to another. And tech is a great career where you can leverage your skills that you learned and then go and get a higher paying job or switch fields within the tech industry pretty easily. So you're never really going to be trapped. The next reason that tech is a great career for people with ADHD is that there's a lot of stimulation. I had a coworker who was like a master network troubleshooter, ADHD, but he loved it because he was always working on new problems and he was jumping from one thing to another and he was just a whiz at it. I've also had a friend who was ADHD as a software development. He also loved it because he could work on different things and he always had something new, so you don't really have time to get bored. That being said, there are some jobs in tech that aren't really friendly to ADHD. For instance, I would say like auditing. There are a lot of like auditing and compliance type of jobs where you're literally just have a checklist and then you go and you check security configurations to make sure people are compliant. I have done that and I wouldn't suggest it to someone with ADHD as it's extremely detail oriented. I always have difficulty working with like databases or anything with a huge amount of data that I'm looking at all at once. It just gives me like a massive headache and then I'm just not able to work. So that is just my own experience. You may be different from me. And again, I am not an ADHD coach or specialist. This is just my own anecdotal evidence. I'm not a doctor, so please go see your doctor. If you're interested, I do have a free course list below that will help you jumpstart your career in tech by giving you the foundations and maybe even playing around with different things to see what you like best and don't like. And I do have a custom playlist here for you all about cybersecurity, cloud, and IT, so make sure to go check that out. Leave any questions below.